What's up, everyone? I'm Em.
I'm Nick.
And welcome into the Ominous Archives.
What is going on, Em? Anything new this week besides episode 10?
Besides being episode 10? No, not really. Anything new with you?
Archie's got his rash again.
Aww.
This is it's like an ongoing thing.
Poor Arch.
He gets an allergy shot. We go like 2 months, we're good. And then rash comes back. They're finally going to listen to us and maybe give him some medicine for his anxiety.
That would be nice.
It would be.
Poor anxiety-ridden baby.
He's
just
know.
a baby.
He really is.
Like,
And
such a baby.
We've sat down and like talked and been like, and we sat down and had the conversation. Did we do anything? Like, did we like try to have fun and like scare him?
Yeah.
Kind of, you know how you like you do like the wow,
Did we like overstimulate him?
like,
Yeah.
we didn't. We had Kobe, did everything with him, and we're like, he'll follow his lead.
Right.
Here we are. He's afraid of cardboard
Everything.
boxes, trash cans,
People,
outside.
other animals, outside, eating, can't eat by himself.
Can he literally eats all of his food at night in the bedroom. Won't touch it all day long.
He's such a sweet boy.
He really is. He's so nice, so cute.
I love him.
Has his own little section in the archives.
Archie in the archives.
But yeah, that's what's going on over here.
Aside from Archie's rash.
Writing on the whiteboard that we now have.
Yes.
Yeah. Planning things. There are things in the works.
There are things.
We'll fill you in some more as they come about.
You'll learn about these things.
As we iron them out, get the rest of the ducks in the row. For now, just know there's things in the works. What are we covering this week, Em, for the 10th episode that you told us about?
Our special 10th episode.
This is a big one.
This is a
number
big one.
10.
I know.
So this better be good.
I feel like
it
had
better
to really pull
rock some
something out here.
socks.
I had to pull something real good out for this one. Today I'm gonna be talking about Devil's Road.
Oh, is it? I think I know about this one.
I figured you would. If you live around here, you've heard about it. It's so close to us that it's like we're talking like a 20-minute drive. You can get there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lore, not a lot that's documented, because it's like this family was like old money type money. Like they wanted something hush hush. They got it hush hush.
It's quiet.
Yeah.
Like don't
absolutely.
even.
So a lot of the things I do want to preface before I speak, a lot of it is speculation. I don't want to get sued. A lot of it is just speculation, theory,
Not accusing anybody of anything.
Right. I'm just telling you what I read. So this is supposedly a haunted road that is extremely narrow. It fits only one car at a time. It's just above the Delaware border in the town of Chatsworth, Pennsylvania. And its official name is Kozarch Road.
How close is that to like Brandywine?
Close.
It is close.
Yeah. It's not
Like you
far.
almost, you know, the Brandywine. Everybody tubes down the Brandywine.
It's
great time.
right around there.
But
such a great time.
it is. It's close to there.
Yeah.
I've actually never been there.
Really?
I've talked about it. I've pretty sure maybe one time I tried to go there with some friends and we just never made it because we got sidetracked.
It's also not easy to find. And they make it hard to find because it's technically it's private property. Like you can get in trouble for trespassing. Like there's no, like you're not going to see a street sign that says Kozarch Road. Like there's not one. They took all that down. Like you have to already know where you're going.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the road has become so famous and so well known amongst the locals. Obviously, I know it. You know it. Everybody that lives around here. The woods surrounding Devil's Road were actually used to shoot the horror movie called The Village. Ever seen it?
No.
It's like a really popular horror movie. Yeah, they used not like the road specifically. Yeah, but like the
surrounding area.
Yeah, for that horror movie.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Right? You definitely should.
I don't even think I've ever heard of The Village.
It's oh my gosh, what is that director? Huge horror director.
Not Spielberg.
No.
M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes, it's hit. I
Yeah.
didn't say that it was directed by him because I could not for the life of me pronounce his name.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would take
that's
that
a tough
one for me.
But yeah.
He was a director.
I mean, his movies are great. Have you seen his daughter's put some, I think, 2 movies now? She's either co-produced with them or like she produced and he just kind of like underproduced to like help her. Yeah. But her movies have been pretty good too.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not a big horror movie person. They really freak me out. Like, it's because I have dreams. Like, if I watch something, I'll dream about it. And I don't like having dreams about the scary things. I don't like it.
I'm pretty good most of the time, but it's funny. So Frank's going to go see, she's going to go see with her friend, The Terrifier in theaters again. It's either like coming out soon or they're going to put it out.
Yeah.
And Art the Clown, I'm a no-go. I don't know what it is.
But on clowns completely. Like, you will not catch me messing around with the clowns. Absolutely not.
I have no idea what it is about Art. Give me Pennywise. I'm cool.
Yeah,
Art,
Pennywise doesn't freak me out, but that's
can't
just
do
because
it.
I like the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I talk to her all the time. She cracks up. She thinks it's the funniest thing.
That's so funny.
She's like, should I buy this? And like, we're in like a Halloween store and she like pops around the corner with the Art thing. I'm like, did you get that thing away from me?
Get it out of here.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So the story begins with a mansion that lies within the woods. The mansion has become known now as the Cult House. That's literally what they call it.
Okay.
They call it the Cult House.
Not from like the last, like it's not like it's called like the Colts. That's not their name.
No,
it's just
it's called the Cult House because of this information I'm about to give you. At one point in time, it was owned and operated by a wealthy family named the DuPonts.
How did I figure it was going to have to deal with them?
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking like
really old
money family, like rich as like this mansion is huge. Like it's humongous. The house definitely did, in my opinion, definitely hosted a cult to some degree. Even if you don't want to call it like a, your typical like cult in the woods like type thing. Like I genuinely think this family was in a cult of themselves. It was common for the DuPont family members to marry within the bloodline, like marrying their cousins, so that the wealth wouldn't be distributed outside of the family. Like that's the lengths they went to keep their money.
Which, I mean, at least it's not that it all sounds weird, but at least it's not like brother sister.
Yeah. While some say that it only belonged to the DuPonts, like the house, other rumors have said that the Cult House was home to Satanists.
Okay, I could understand that. I can see it.
I don't like it, but I can understand.
Well, I mean, that could also go to the whole thing where like they're saying like, oh, again, you're not accusing or saying the DuPonts were like in a cult or a cult, but maybe they owned the mansion in between that, and there was a cult there, or so in between all these, like there could have been KKK members and Satanists and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Such an old like place; it's been there forever. The legend says that unspeakable acts have taken place within the Cult House, and outsiders have said that if you come across the house now, like in today's time, it looks more of like a church than a mansion, like a house type of thing. Upside down crosses are kind of what the window panels like resemble. Like that could very much just be a coincidence. That was the design at the time.
Yeah, they just designed it that way.
It was like crazy to think about now with all like the rumors of the house and stuff that like.
I mean, that could have been where the rumor started.
Yeah.
Wait,
very well.
Doesn't that window kind of look like an upside down cross? Yeah, they must be.
Creepy.
They must be in a cult, or they must be Satanists.
Yep. If you go past it, like today, there's blackout windows that cover the church. Like that whole. It's said that the acts that happened have had significant effects on the environment around it. Most notably on Kozarch Road. The road, everything that happens on the road is because of the things that took place in this house, is the rumor, the legend.
Okay.
Like, so the road is haunted because of these people, this house. One example of this in particular are the trees that line the road on the opposite side when you're driving down the street. So, like, the mansion is on your right, and these trees that I'm talking about are, like, on the left, on the opposite side of the road. You'll notice the trees bend away from the road, and these trees were not cut, yet they literally bend so dramatically away from the house, opposite the natural growth of growing towards the sun, And as you get further and further from the cold house, the trees miraculously bend back into natural shape. Tall, rooted upwards, normal type trees.
So they're what I heard of. Like when
Yeah.
when we talked about it, and I probably was middle school,
Yeah.
late middle school, we
Mhm.
started talking about it. So like
They've
you
been
still
like
heard
that
about it in your high
forever.
school.
And when I tell you, like, it does not look natural, like, at all. And I've seen, like, people say, and I'm sure, like, somebody will read in, like, somebody listening will be like, oh, there's like, the power lines. They cut them because of I see that in every single article that I scrolled through. Everybody's like, oh, well, there's power lines. They specifically never, there's not power lines through, like, the things. At least,
Yeah.
since as long as the rumor has been a thing, there's never been power lines.
Yeah, and you would, if you're going to drive down this road, you would see the cut marks. Like we have,
Yeah.
if you look at a tree, you can
I've seen
see
them.
like, oh, that branch is cut.
And it's like, you can look it up. Like, if you look it up, you can go on Google Maps, look at it. The trees, they all, and it's eerie looking. Like, I feel like you don't even have to be there. Like, if you just look at the pictures, it just looks unnatural. Like, that's not how trees are supposed to look.
So the one thing I could think of, again, I haven't been there,
Yeah.
which being from this area, you're kind of
It's
like, you
kinda
haven't been there?
crazy
It's
that
like,
you've never
yeah,
been
you
there.
know, I never made it there, but
Yeah.
you know how like plants will like bend towards
Yeah.
light?
Yeah, well, that was,
Spoiler.
I said that. I was like, they away, like, opposite the natural growth of the rest of the growing tree.
So everything else is
Everything
like,
else around
like going
it.
towards like
is
kind of the
going
mansion or
toward- yeah.
something.
That's why I made sure that I noted that, because I knew you would say something about, like, the plants, there being, like,
Yeah,
little
well, 'cause that was my
elevation.
thought, like,
of course.
Maybe it's like that's where the sun's strongest.
Yeah, no,
So
it says, because there was a whole thing about it. I was like, that is crazy.
I think it's an arborist, but
What, a tree guy?
yeah, like a tree guy. Pretty sure they're like
Arbor.
proper terms, an arborist.
I think you're right.
I wonder if there's like a tree that actually does that. Like
Yeah.
it, as they grow, they kind of just
Slant.
slant.
Like,
you know,
why would 4 random of those trees just be there? And the rest of them aren't like that?
maybe the people who were in the house knew what they were doing. They said,
Yeah.
we're gonna make like this house is gonna be the urban legend
Yeah,
of.
maybe they had
Chad's Ford.
They knew.
They just knew.
Other trees that stand out around the house have been nicknamed the skull trees. This one I don't love. It's kind of sad. Not kind of. It is really sad. Like, I'm trying to, like, it's so sad. Rumor has it that the DuPonts would use these trees for dumping babies who died at birth or were born disabled, which they had a lot of because they were incest all the time, you know. Like, it's so sad.
Yeah, that kind of like that kind of dates. Like that's like a thing too.
Yeah.
Of like, sad to say, way back when, like disabled baby, you just get rid of it.
Like,
I watched
that's what they
the
did back
Viking
then.
series,
Mhm.
and but the one son was like he was disabled. He couldn't walk. Ivar the Great.
There you go.
He was disabled. Yeah, it came to me. He was, and they showed in the show that at one point I think they left him like kind of like in the woods.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have. That's what they did.
Right.
I'm
like,
sure-
That's just how it was.
I'm pretty sure people used to just like bring on the ledges and just kind of like, whoop,
Which is, like, so
you know, it's crazy.
And, like, especially in this case scenario, because, like, you're knowingly, like...
Yeah.
And, like, it was a whole big thing. Like, you could deep dive really into the DuPont family. They're a whole thing in themselves. I tried to,
Mhm.
like, just get the basics on it. Apparently, they were, like, forced to do this, too. Like, it wasn't, like,
yeah, it
everybody was, like,
Mhm.
gung-ho about keeping the money in the family.
Yeah,
it was,
it's-
like,
it's-
the
this is,
higher
like-
up people.
yeah, your like great grandpa
Yeah.
is like, no.
But-
This is how the
absolutely.
family. And there's a few movies that are kind of like that, where it's
Mhm.
like they do the whole like, no, this is the way,
Mhm.
as they would say in The Mandalorian. This is how they did it. I can't think any. There's a show. There's an island show. Frankie and I just watched
Mhm.
that was kind of like that. The girl was married in the family, and she had to sign like a like the non-discrimination. You can't talk about it. NDAs. I don't remember what it's called,
Yeah. All right.
but she had to like sign one of those,
Yeah.
and all this stuff happens. But
Like,
It's a thing.
absolutely wild. So the rumor is, well, not the rumor, like the legend, is that over time, these skull trees would devour their bodies fully and take the shape of the child's skull. The trees were taken down a few years ago after recurring graffiti and pranks in the area, as you can assume. But if you look up pictures of the skull trees, as I was reading it, I was like, yeah, right. Like, okay, that's just like, they just made up a story about the... It really does look like a skull at the bottom of these trees. They're kind of scary.
I'm going to look this up right now.
It's a little creepy.
I can definitely see it. It's got like a red thing around it.
Yeah, it's a little creepy. Definitely, I felt like it was worth noting, for sure. There's also been a little bit of, not validation, but like a little bit more to the theory of the skull trees being used as a burial ground in August of 1978. And these are the only like deaths that have ever happened on Devil's Road, like reported deaths. The bodies of James Johnston, Dwayne Lincoln, and Wayne Simpson were found along Kozarch Road. They were shot and killed by, at the time, the infamous Johnston gang. Their murders actually led to the disbandment of the gang and the arrest and convictions of its members. And locals say that the bodies of the victims were also found directly near the skull trees, right near them. People have also said to see the ghosts of all three of them, which, of course, if you know about a death that's there, they have to be there.
If they die there, they're there.
One thing to note about Devil's Road, if you're going at night, it will be almost pitch black. And it's like a dark it's dark. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a different type of darkness when the only light is coming from your headlights. Like, that's it. There's no street lights. Like, there's nothing. It's
like when you go camping and you're like in the wilderness and like the sun goes down and you're just like, wait, this is dark. This isn't like at home dark. This is like dark.
It's almost completely pitch black. The only light that will come is from your own headlights or somebody else's. And in this case, you might not want to see somebody else's headlights. Many people have reported being chased down and off the road by mysterious cars that seem to come out of nowhere, and they chase you out. I personally chalk that up to, a neighborhood watch type of thing, because I'm sure, like, the people that live around there aren't too keen on a bunch of teenagers, like, coming around trespassing near and around their houses, but nonetheless, getting chased off of a narrow, dark, and it's like a windy, like, it's not a normal, like, road.
And this isn't a road that, like, it's like a cut through or anything. This is like
if you're on this road, you're on it for a reason, too. So they know. Like, if you're getting chased out of there, they were probably watching you from the get, which is scary because, like, you could get in a lot of serious trouble.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, nowadays, too, I bet you if this is still owned by that family and everything,
still in the DuPont.
The money that they have, even if somebody were to have, like, bought it from them, it's worth some money. And even the people in the area, if they have to deal with all this, I'm sure that they've put, like, security cameras up everywhere and stuff like that.
There's
so, like,
signs
as soon as you turn on that road, they could see you. You're seen, if you don't belong there, they know.
Yeah, and you're going to get chased out of there. And it's not going to be fun. It's going to be a little scary. There's also been reports of dead animals in groups found around Crescent Road that obviously just give an eerie, creepy vibe, especially when locals have no explanation for it, like the people that live there. It doesn't seem to be done by other animals or natural causes. Lots of animals. One group of... I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that. And no explanation. The locals don't have anything for it. Like, you could also chalk that up to, like, teenagers trying to scare you, but, like, that's a little extreme.
I mean, if that's teenagers killing, like,
that's
12
psychotic.
Squirrels and putting squirrels in a group, like, somebody should check on those teenagers.
Exactly.
Like, that's not a thing you do.
Right, that's not, like, some graffiti, like, type thing. Like, that's creepy and
that's weird.
Scary.
It's kind of like when when you get, like, a whale beaching or something like that. Like, it's, why? Like, that's weird.
Right, like, what's coming?
Yeah.
Like, there's, for sure.
Where's this white stag?
People have also said to see nooses hanging from the trees, satanic words and quotes spray painted on things throughout the street, ridiculous amounts of crosses and Bibles with knives through them, which that I'm going to chalk up to teenagers.
I'm going to
for
chalk
sure.
a ton of that up to
But-
like just people wanting to like make it creepy and weird.
And it definitely does.
Mhm.
Definitely does
Yeah.
make it creepier, for sure. Some people have even gone so far to say that they've seen bonfires and human-like figures dressed in white cloaks and hoods. Absolutely hate that.
Yeah.
Hate that.
I can see how you do that. To me, there's like, I'm sitting over here and I'm kind of like, you know what? Like, if I'm that family, I'm totally like, all right, people want to play this game.
Yeah.
We're going to have some fun. We're
Right.
going to feed into this.
Seriously.
Let's have a bonfire. Let's dress in white
And a
cloaks
lot
and
of the
like let
comments-
this just keep going.
A lot of the stuff that I saw, like talking about
Mhm.
Devil's Road has been like, I would absolutely do the same thing. If you already
I
had
would.
this
I mean, if-
preconceived note, like, hell yeah.
Yeah. If people are going to
fucking with
keep
the people.
bothering me and
Yeah.
or like wanting to come see this house or something, that or I would turn around and be like, look, come tour the house. You want
Yeah.
to see it? Come look at it.
Right.
But I think if this is what they're doing
Yeah.
and that's how they're doing it, so much cooler than being like, this is the house. Nothing
Mhm.
goes on here.
Right. This is that.
I would applaud them for doing that. That's
Seriously.
I think it's cool. It's funny.
That is one thing I would go to.
Hmm.
I've already been over there. You know, something that I found while researching that I thought was interesting enough to share. I found it on Reddit. So shout out to Stars Trying X on Reddit for this because I did look it up after and it is true. But if you go on Google Maps and go down Crescent Road, a lot of the houses are blurred out on Google Maps. Like you can't see them.
I was
Like,
actually
at all.
going to talk about Google Maps because that was the one thing. I think at one point, that road, Crescent Road,
Mhm.
Google wouldn't let you go down it.
Yeah.
You'd get there and it would just stop. You
Yeah.
couldn't go past it no matter
Which is-
what you tried.
So crazy because when I vividly remember when we were in high school, like before going, we tried to look for it and you couldn't find it. It would, and which made it even scarier.
Yeah.
Like why isn't
It's
this thing on
purposely blurred
Google?
out. Like you can't, I don't know if you can see it now.
You can,
But it's now.
you can go down it, but
The houses are blurred.
the houses are blurred, which is
Yeah.
just so weird.
It's weird, but it's probably also
it's
them.
probably due to the vandalism because a lot of the
Yeah.
houses are also abandoned back there. Like not a lot of people want to
I
live
didn't know that.
back there. I mean,
Interesting.
they're nice houses. They're
Mhm.
big houses. It's
I mean, in
like-
this housing market, I'll take one.
yeah, whew, you're brave. You're brave.
You know,
With all those people
I'll join
coming
in
over
with the
there,
fun.
right?
You know,
Mess with all the
I'll
people.
I'll just start putting dummies up of like people in white cloaks
Dude.
and fire and stuff like that in front of my house, and people "Whoa," freaking out.
So whether it was like due to the vandalism on the houses, the fact that it's private property and they don't want their actual like number addresses, because like you can't get there unless you have a
Address.
place to go to.
Yeah,
you need an
you need a
address. You need the
pinpoint.
numbers.
Yeah.
So I thought it was
We
like,
couldn't just drop a pin.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, see,
I mean, so maybe
you could do it.
theory
It is
doesn't make
possible.
sense.
I've dropped the pin to get many places. I actually do it when I park my car.
Smart.
Right?
So either that's just like a coincidence that they blurred out the houses. They just
You
like,
can ask.
don't-
When we moved into our house currently,
Mhm.
for whatever reason, if you put it into Google, it was like 2 blocks down the road in
Okay.
somebody's backyard. It's like we were
Okay.
getting the dog food delivered and they would deliver it to the back of that house. Like not even to the back of the house, whose house it actually is, to their wooden fence. So like the people wouldn't even know
That
that there's a
it's there.
package back there.
That's
There's just a
so
random package
weird.
at the back of their fence.
So did you
So
just
weird.
like
You
contact
can-
them and just be
Yeah,
like,
you just reach
"Hey."
out to Google and you just let them know and be like, hey, this is actually where my house is. It's not that
Huh.
random piece of wood fence.
That's wild.
Yeah. So they probably could have just reached out and been like,
Yeah.
hey, blur my house. I don't want my address known.
Yeah.
It's a privacy thing.
And I don't blame them
Yeah.
because I was one of those little teenagers
Yep.
that was.
Yep.
I mean, you weren't causing a ruckus or
I'm
anything.
sure. Yeah.
I'm-
No, you weren't causing any
not-
ruckuses.
Listen. I went, but like, I'm not turning the car off, turning the lights off, like none of that. Like, I'm not doing that. We can drive
Oh.
through, and we're not stopping.
You didn't want to
Also-
flicker the lights like 3 times at the house.
There's no
and-
service back there. So also, like, when we were in high school, we didn't listen to the radio. We were listening to our phones, like, on the off. So it was also silent because none of us had service. So we couldn't play music. So every time that we went to Devil's Road, it was like, we have no phones. It's got to be silent. And, like, we're all such an experience. So, like I've been saying, this is a place that somewhere me and my friends have went to. I could tell you, I saw some of the weirdest shit I have ever seen in my life. And still to this day, my friend Bella and I cannot explain it to you. It is the only, like, if somebody was to ask me if I have a ghost story, this is the one I'll tell. It's the only one I have to tell. have to tell. Never experienced anything else like this. I don't even know if it was a ghost. It could very well be exactly like you said, like somebody just trying to mess with kids, like get the story going.
It could be.
It was probably around, I want to say like 8:30 because I had a curfew in high school. I had to be home by 10, so it couldn't have been later than like 9:30 because I wouldn't have made it home in time. So it had to be like 8:30 at night. You're driving down Devil's Road, and there's a point where there's like no houses around, really. Like it's just open field. Like there's horses and stuff back there. Like they have animals and stuff. You're nowhere directly near any houses. So you're surrounded by a bunch of field. And I swear on everything that I've ever loved in my life, I saw a man in all black holding, I'm assuming a little girl's hand. It didn't look like a little boy to me. A little girl's hand. And when I tell you, it was like so real. It was like one of those things. I didn't say anything. Like I did not tell my friend. I was with Bella and then the person who was driving. I did not say a word for at least like 45 seconds, I'd say, after I saw this thing because I was like, I'm crazy. I'm like, no shot. I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't just see a ghost. Get the hell out of here. Like, my mind's crazy. I'm already thinking I'm in a place that's haunted. Like, no way.
We've been there because I did the same thing with Frankie when we went to Gettysburg, which I'm going to cover Gettysburg in another episode because I got a ton to say, but we experienced the ghost there. And I made sure not to say anything to her because I wanted to see if she was going to see it.
So I initially don't say anything. My friend Bella, about 20 seconds of silence go by after I have this like 45 seconds before I'm about to say something about what I saw. And the words literally come out of Bella's mouth. Can I say something so crazy that I swear I just saw? And it was the exact same thing down to the T. We were saying the words like at the same time. Like a man dressed in all black and a little kid. Like exact like word for word. My poor friend Andrew, who's driving at the time, he's like shaking while he's like driving all the. We're like, go! Like I'm not staying here any longer than I have to be. Like that was crazy. And so even if it wasn't a ghost, could have been kids.
So you
or
just
whatever,
seen somebody in a field.
Why would you be standing in a field where like there's no houses like directly around us? 10:30 at night.
Could it just be a creepy scarecrow?
No.
Sure?
It was not a scarecrow. Like, it was not a scarecrow type thing. Like, it was a real type person. Like, real hand was holding. I think it was a little girl. I think the only reason I'm not, like, 100% confident in saying it's a little girl is because Bella might have said a little boy. So maybe we just, like, chalked it up. Yeah, chalked it up to, like, a young kid. But regardless, whatever it was, we both saw it. And didn't give each other the information that we would know what we both saw. You know what I mean?
Now, did you, like, turn around and look back and it was gone?
No, I did not turn around and look back. And it was so funny because Bella, my friend Bella, she's got balls, for real. She does. If she was the one that was driving that car, we probably would have, we all were not making curfew and we all would have been going back around again to make sure that what we saw was there. Andrew was not having that type of thing.
Well, that's why I figured. I was like, I didn't know if you or Bella, like, turned your heads around to like look, or like, not that I'd stick my head out the window.
No, I think I
don't stick your head out the window when you're driving, but turn and look. Yeah, that movie, boy.
So whether or not we saw two ghosts, like for real, or it was people like playing a prank, or there was a perfectly reasonable explanation as to why we'd see a man and a little girl in the middle of an open field at 8:30 at night. That will forever probably be the scariest thing that I've experienced. I don't care if it was a person and there was an explanation for it. Creeped the hell out of me. And don't think I'd do it again.
So
I haven't been back there since. To note.
That's probably a good thing. But I think that's hysterical because I bet you, which I've said, I think that's hysterical at least 3 or 4 times this time. What if it's just like a dad and a daughter who live in the area and they were just taking a stroll
at 8:30?
What are you doing on that road at 8:30?
I mean, I guess.
Right?
Yeah, you could be right.
They could just be. They could have lived in one of the blurry houses and were just taking a stroll and decided to go. Field? Maybe there was a great viewpoint of the moon.
I'm not walking around this area. Like, I wouldn't buy a house in this area because I wouldn't like raise kids in this area. Like, it's not like a
farmish.
Yeah, but like every single house is like a couple miles from you. Like, the houses aren't close.
People like to be away from people.
That, but
like there's city people who like want to be in the, I don't want to say in the know, but like they want to be there and like walking distance to everything or subway. And then there's people who are like, I want like 4 miles between me and my next neighbor,
Yeah.
which is awesome, but on the flip side, terrifying.
Scary, like,
because
so scary.
God forbid something happened. I was like, well, I guess I should start learning how to run 4 miles.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I'm in for it.
Like, it's not a place that I would take my daughter on a stroll for.
I mean,
don't
but
care
if you
I live there.
If you lived in the, if I lived there, I wouldn't do that. We're just gonna be homebodies. We're gonna stay in the house. I'll get treadmills and stuff like that. That's how we're gonna exercise.
Like, it's so eerie. Like, even just the vibe of it, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because I was like, you could chalk it up to, there's explanations for anything. It's still just creepy. Like, it gives me a Halloween type of vibe. Like, it's just creepy.
Yeah.
Like, stories like that are just, like, so interesting that, like, actually have, like, a history, like, behind it. Even if it's, like, people, like, tweak things, like, here and there. I think they're still cool enough to talk about. Definitely cool enough to visit. You will get in trouble if you're caught. People have gotten tickets. People have gotten arrested. So I'm going to be a hypocrite here and say, don't go there.
Why we're also not saying exactly where to go or how to get there.
Exactly. It's also, I don't think it's as easy to find as it was when I was in high school. Like, I was reading a TikTok, actually. It was from, like, 2022. I think it was dated. And somebody commented that, like, you actually can't get onto the road anymore. There's, like, I think, like, a gate, like, type of thing. Which, honestly, if they were smart, they would have done that years ago. Because, just have a password, like, that type of thing.
Well, it's probably, like, a key card or something.
Yeah. Like a gated.
Well, now it's going to make people walk it, which is even more creepy.
And I hate that. Hate that. You're brave.
I wouldn't.
If you do that, you're brave.
Listen, when the sun sets, I don't. Besides going to, like, a haunted house that's like planned.
I'm walking in the daytime.
I'm not. It's probably a great walk. It's probably really nice. Yeah, but nighttime, whole different spin.
And it's also, like, so narrow. Like, I feel like
I pulled a picture up of those trees.
Yeah.
It's narrow, and I can see where people say with the power lines, because there are power lines in this picture above the trees. But they're you can even see they don't look like they were cut. They do oddly look like they were grown weird, but you can see that, like, the power line where it is versus, like, the trunks of the trees, they weren't. If anything, the bend of the tree from this picture looks like it's almost going up into the power lines. The only thing I can say on why they look like they're slanted and why they maybe grew that way is they do look like they're on kind of a hill.
And it is, like, which is also scary. Like, this is just, like, safety thing that kind of creeps me out. There's nothing, like, off to the side.
There's no guardrail.
There's no guardrail. There's nothing. And it's a street that it's one car both ways. Like, you can't, what do you do? How do you get around that? What are the rules for that when you're on, like, a narrow road like that?
Don't crash.
Maybe, like, how do you, like, get around that?
I don't know.
You've never had
You don't go on that road.
You've never gone on a street before like that?
The beep beep tunnel. That's all that's like
I guess, but, like,
or it would be like, it's probably like you give way to oncoming traffic, but either way, it's oncoming. You're oncoming to that person, they're oncoming to you, but
it's freaky.
If I had to say anything, I would say maybe, like, the other side, say, is like a hill or something, and your side's not. You kind of pull off and, like, let them go by.
That's the other
but
thing. On the other side, it goes up. So, like, you have to go, like, around it, but, like, you're also on an incline there.
That's how, when we went to Montana, that's how it was. We had a mountain house, and, but the house was, like, perched kind of, like, on a mountain, which was sick, because when we went out in the morning onto the deck, there was, like, deer and stuff in the backyard, so we were having, like, coffee, just watching the deer graze and watching the sun come up over these mountains. Montana's just gorgeous. But some of the roads there were narrow, and you're just cliff. Like, if you're the passenger and you look out the window, it's just, like, straight down.
It's so scary.
It's just crazy. So, like, you have to just be careful and go slow.
Yeah.
If you have foldable mirrors, maybe pull them in. Or for the instance of this road, don't go on the road.
Don't go there.
Because I'm going to say, if people live there, I bet you there's another road that leads out. So they use it like a one way. It's like, this is the road in, that's the road out.
Very much so.
It's like that one stoplight town. In, out.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. That was Devil's Road.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I never been there. So I'm actually glad you covered this, because it was in my mind. I've never been there though, so I was like, I can't really talk about it. I just know of it.
I couldn't find too much info about like the road itself,
Mhm.
but like the DuPonts, like I said, you can go on a whole deep dive on them.
I'm
Like, that's
sure.
crazy.
Yeah, they have their old money.
Their lore is crazy.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
money you can't even like imagine, like think of.
Yeah.
Wild.
If I was in my,
Powerful
like I said, if they still own that house,
Mhm.
and I would completely just feed on.
Yeah.
If people are gonna come here, we're gonna make you think that this is
Right.
absolutely wild and crazy and all that.
And you want to know what? If that's what they're doing, thank you for making me believe in ghosts. Honestly, because
Yeah.
that dad and girl thing really did stick with me.
Mhm.
I still think about
What
it.
if that guy and the girl was just like one of those cutout, like steel cutout things that look like,
It was,
and they just put in a
like,
field?
it was more than that. Like, I wouldn't have. I mean, I guess like maybe like if I was already thinking about the fact that like it was haunted or whatever.
Yeah,
and I
you were
was
seeing
looking
what you
for
wanted
it,
to see.
Maybe, but I feel like that's so random. Like usually it's like a little farmer boy. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like when I
Yeah.
think of like those little like black shadow like
Yeah,
things.
or like a dog, or like
Yeah.
another animal. Mhm.
Right.
I can see it.
I don't know. I will probably never know, but
Probably.
I'm gonna chalk it up to a ghost because it's cooler.
Yeah, I would. Sounds good. I think saying it's a ghost is a whole lot better than it actually being a person or two people standing in a field.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot creepier to me than it being a ghost.
Yeah, I agree. Actually,
I wouldn't want to come across just a person standing in a field. Two people.
I mean either way, it's very eerie. But I guess you're right.
I'm going to take my chances with the ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did enjoy that, especially because it's a local. I almost wanted to say homegrown. I guess it is
I mean, it is.
homegrown.
Technically,
but
you're right.
I did enjoy it because it was local. I can say I sadly haven't been there.
Yeah.
Definitely have not.
I would never have been there if my friends didn't force me to go. I was way more inclined to do these kinds of things when I was younger and naive. I feel as though you couldn't get me there today.
No.
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe if you tried really hard.
and that would be Archie giving his approval.
Archie in the archives.
Archie in the archives. Well, I mean, that wraps it up, right?
It does indeed.
Well, we won't. What's it? Bang on your ear? No, that's weird.
Never heard
Talking
that
in
one
your ear?
before.
There's definitely a saying, something about talking on your ear, just
Sure.
keeping going.
Well, we won't keep
Anyway.
you.
Yeah, we won't. There you go. We won't keep you anymore. If you haven't yet, this is episode 10, so
I would hope
everybody
you
should have. Yeah. Go follow us on our Instagram at
Ominous Archives.
X,
Ominous Archives.
TikTok.
Ominous.archives.
Yeah.
Thanks,
re-
TikTok.
Yeah. Appreciate that. And if you have your own story about Devil's Road or the Cult House or just in general, don't be shy. Throw us an email at
ominousarchives@gmail.com.
that will do it. Archie is ready to get out of the archives.
Archie's done.
Yep. So we are going to catch you next week, everyone. See ya.
See ya.